Welcome to the spot. It's time to ignite. Oh yeah. Operation Hangout. The feeling's just right. Chilling with the crew. We're ready to groove. Opinions flying high. Come on, let's move. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Pull up a chair, let's get in the zone. Voices blending smooth like a funky trombone. Oh yeah. Topics from the heart, making us think. With a twist and a shout, raise up your drink. Cheers! Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Bring it down, shake it up, feel the beat. With every word we share, the circle's complete. Living loud, think it proud, that's what we do. Oh yeah. Join the club, come on through, we're waiting for you. Alright. Hang out all night long, all night. Laughing and debating, playing our song. Oh yeah. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Operation Hangout, let's reach for the sky. Let's fly. Hang out.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sparking SU Network. Of course, you are at Operation Hangout. I am your host, Ghost of Sparta, aka Peter. So, what is going on, everybody, on this beautiful evening? Of course, we got Eric in my house. Of course, Eric is a big supporter. I want to thank him and glad to have him on board. And we're talking about his favorite topic, wrestling. His favorite thing to talk about is not AEW or the Terrier era or any of that, is this era. This is his favorite, and his favorite person is Vince McMahon. Just saying. And we got Mariana in the house. What is going on? So the reason I want to talk about this topic is something that's been bugging me about WrestleMania. If you haven't figured it out yet, WrestleMania is supposed to be the Super Bowl of wrestling, the big arena, the big, the Comic-Con of wrestling, or whatever you want to call it, right? All right. But here's my issue with it now. WrestleMania has not been WrestleMania in years. It's been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Boring, dull, lame, putting me to sleep. It was only one real good match, but everything else was like, eh. And that's the issue I've been having with WrestleMania. It's not the same like they used to be. It has transformed into something else now. I understand this 2 nights event, and I'm gonna come a little slack. There's a lot of put in there, and I think that's a really bad idea. I put this in 2 night event. I'll explain why. It's too much, way too much, too much to do in one day, too much to do everything. But it's too. Trying to find the right word. Too overwhelming for them to do this 2 nights event. It's technically more if you really think about it. You have the wrestlers who show up probably like Thursday night to settle in all that stuff. Then you have Hall of Fame on Friday night, and I love the Hall of Fame part. Don't get me wrong. I think it is a really good event. To give acknowledgement to the people who gave something to the business, somebody who gave something back, somebody who actually sacrificed their bodies, their lives, and everything. And that is something very honorable in that. And was it Triple H's idea to start this? Was it Stephanie? Was it um Venches? Whoever it was, but I liked it. I always have been a big fan of it, and that's why I was always a big fan of it, is because they have done a great job with it over the years. Except the last couple of years that they did the Hall of Fame in like in a half a ring kind of thing. I wasn't a big fan of that one. I was more a fan of the format they did this year. And it was a very good format, I personally thought. I like the idea they put Triple H in it finally. Even technically he's pretty young to go in it. And that's okay. Because he is one of the legends. Because without him, I don't think we will have wrestling the way it is now. In my personal opinion. I think we'll probably have something else. Let's see what comment we have from Eric. The multiple nights and multiple cities work for the Great American Bash, but that's a total different format than WrestleMania. And it is. We're talking about two different things now. You're talking about apples versus oranges in a way, Eric, because the WrestleMania back, the Bash was something different. Even when Vince had the idea to do a closed circuit, I believe was it, to like in a movie theater kind of format, that wasn't a bad idea, to be honest with you. But it wasn't a great format either. It was one of those things that you needed somebody to create the right thing, if that makes any sense. Let's get this over here for a second, because my stream is acting weird on my end. Let's put this here. Let's fix this really fast. And here we go. And hey, we got our boy Wally in house. Wally, jump on if you have time, man. This is your format. You love wrestling as much as I do. So, as I was saying, the wrestling format back then worked for them, but it's not the same. That's one thing we have to keep in mind. Okay, he says, I remember that that's how it was for WrestleMania 1 in 1985. And yes, you're right. That's how it was, because that's the format Vince wanted to put. He wanted to push it as hard as he could. I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. I can't remember because I was a little bit too young to remember that. I don't think pay-per-views came to the idea putting WrestleMania on pay-per-views to at least the early 90s. I'm not positive about that, but I don't think 85 or 86 or 83, I'm sorry, 83, 87 was a format they did back then. It was something completely different. And was something unique, if that makes sense. And you gotta keep one thing also: inflation. These tickets are not cheap anymore. People who are going to, they're dropping some serious cash on these tickets. Yeah, this is a few times you're gonna meet great wrestlers. Like you don't get a chance to meet at Comic Con. Like Rain, Rome's, for example, Cody or um Odin or whatever the case is. You're not going to see those guys anymore, except at a WrestleMania event or a pay-per-view event. I think WrestleMania is the only event that I know of, at least, that the wrestlers actually have a time to meet and greet. Again, before that, okay, here we go. Before that, it was a MSG on cable for major cards. Explain that a little better, Eric. I want a little more information on that. So the format was different. Format was completely different back then. And it was completely unique. And one of the questions I was going to ask, and it makes good sense at least. Did a lot of superstars walk away? I think so. I think a lot of superstars walk away chasing the title. They're not a title card anymore. Not anymore into the main event. There are a lot of them. Like, here, let me bring up my notes here. Put this here. Oh. Nope. Where is it? I have it somewhere on here. Give me a minute to track these down. All right, here we go. So the cards came down to be SS. Well, my computer's acting stupid right now. All right. Okay, here, like one. John Cena winning the title again. Yeah. That wasn't a I don't think it was like that was a good move, to be honest. I think it was a horrible move. He's already won a title. Okay, term here, fine. But win another title, I don't think he's gonna be having a title way too long. Now, when the Uso brothers, Jey Uso, won the title from Gunther, yeah, I supported that 100%, and it was great. Eric saying there was one or two big cards you got to see on cable television. Oh, come on, here we go. Every month, and that's how it used to be. That's how well it was. Once to be up here in a minute. All right, man, I'll wait for you. So, and I think Uso had a long time coming to be a main eventer. Now, the New Day versus the Warriors, nothing special, nothing crazy. Now, Jada versus Naomi again, it was like, nothing special again here. Is The one I was a little excited. It was shit. What was his name? L.A. Knight versus CFO2. It wasn't too bad. I give him that. I was like, it was okay. That was a little excitement in there, but nothing too crazy. Now with the Triple Lawyer one, El Gate American defending Ray Phoenix, that was okay. We already know who El Gate American is. As much as they're playing this little. That this years ago was Hogan. He was the Mr. America. He was hiding the mask, and then at one point he goes quiet. He took his mask on live TV and like kind of killed the point. The world champion Tiffany Saturn, I can't pronounce her name, and Charlotte Flair. I really thought Flair was going to win another title, to be honest with you guys. I really thought she was going to grab another title, and she's another year before she loses it or injury again. But I think she's still trying to get her steam back from coming back from such a long injury and 2 injuries back to back to back. So I think they did a smart move not taking the title off her. So I'll kill him that. Now, this one I have mixed feelings behind it. CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I'll tell you why. They have turned Roman's heel so many times. And hey, what's up, Cash? What's going on, my man? And I don't have a problem going back and forth, bayface heel, bayface heel. I don't have a problem. But the way they did it again, it was okay. He backstabbed his boy again. He's trying to patch up the things with Roman during most of the last year or so, and he couldn't do that. Then he did not want even to work with him to defeat the Buntline 2.0, whatever the case is. The whole time you seem like okay, they hate each other so much they don't want to they won't be on anything, but they try to fix things, but they can stand each other, yada yada. But Pullman, he was the wise man, and all of a sudden he turns on him. That was a two-faced thing that I was like, oh, okay, I will definitely take that any day of the week. I will take it any day of the week, and that was the one I actually did enjoy. But that's part of the only thing I enjoy the match. I think they built Roman Reigns Mount Olympus character. Is going to be very hard to get him down from there, and that's good. The OTC is literally, I think, a very good position for him. Now, taking the wise man out of that picture, I wonder how he's going to do. But I give that a B match too. I'm not going to give that an A match. Now, with the women's match, the heavyweight, with Sky, keeping her belt, yeah, okay, I like that outcome. Again, it's a B match. Again, you saw Ripley having the belt so much right now, and she is a heel of heels, but also a favorite. Business Sense says, yeah, put her on there. Definitely get her a belt, but keeping her chasing it will be more interesting. Now, let's talk about entries for a while. Most of these entries matches were great, were unique and great. I want to say were like one of the best ones I saw. And I know Triple H had a lot to do with working with the talent to create the entries for WrestleMania. And like the one I'm gonna bring up is shit, what is his fucking name? I got it right here. No, I'm trying to find his name really fast. I had it here. Dwayne McIntyre, Scottish guy, but they used the Doom New Game as a sponsor of the arena of the game, the show, whatever. And he used that, and it wasn't bad. It was like, it's okay. And again, I didn't see any excitement. Now you have, freaking day two. Actually, talk about day two for a second here, because when you get, I think only went through day one, and this is my issue with day one and day two. So day not second night, you had Doug Mysterio defeats Breaker and Phil Balor for a four-way match. Breaker's not bad. I give him credit for a second generation. He's pretty decent guy to wrestle, but not a top-notch guy either. Judgment Day interference, all that stuff done over and over and over. And as much it sounds like I'm bashing, I'm not really. The one I was like excited to see and didn't know this was going to happen. It was finally something was hidden from once, and I only touched base on it in a second when the guy started showing up. Randy Orton defeats Joe Hendricks. Hey, Hendricks, like him, Hendricks. I like the idea they're working with another company now, and I think they needed that little extra. Now, AJ and Logan Paul. That's all right. I think Logan Paul can do a lot better. Now, having what's her name? My brain's just freezing tonight, man. Becky Lynch coming back. Yeah, I actually like the idea of coming back, but you can tell she's not gonna be back for long. She's a mom now, and that's where her focus on being a mother. Number one, and the most important thing to her is being a mother. And she said if she had her daughter, like I would not, I'd give up wrestling for my daughter any day of the weekend. That's I respect that. So then we had John Cena. We already spoke about it a little bit. It was just like nothing super exciting. Like, and I think the problem is the internet these days. You can probably look up the results a couple days ahead of time, and it takes away from the wow factor. It takes away from the oh my god, I cannot wait to see this. I remember watching I think it was WrestleMania 14. Rock versus Hogan. Wow, what a match. What a what's the word I'm going to find trying to put it a show. You have Hogan, choke slamming him. Then choke slamming Rock choke slamming Hogan, the big boot, but they didn't realize the crowd turned on them in the middle of it, and they actually changed the outcome of it. Originally, Hogan was supposed to win that match, but when they realized the crowd was turning on them, they literally decided to change the match right on air. Now, obviously, when they're going through stuff, they're talking to the ref who has the earpieces, talks back to Gorilla, where Vince is usually controlling everything at the time. And I'm pretty sure something like that did happen. He was like, yo, we got to change the outcome, dude. Like, he needs to go over versus me now. Hogan, of course, I'm saying. He probably contacted, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, to change the outcome. And they just went with it, or they just did what they wanted to at that point. You got two mega stars, the biggest stars you can probably see in wrestling at the time. And they're saying, we don't give a shit what they're going to do. What are they going to do? Fire us? It's okay, they fire us. What's the big deal? They're not going to fire the two of the biggest faces in the company. And they knew we can get away with that. Same thing with H. He could get away with a lot. He got fined. He got punished, but they would never fired him. for a reason. Not because he was banging the door of his boss, is because he knew the business. He knew how far he can push it. All right, let's see what Eric says. The goddamn internet dirty street fucked it up. And Eric, you're right. It has fucked everything up. Gaming. Let's talk about gaming for 1 second here. I know I'm going off topic, but I don't get off too off topic. But think about what I'm saying. I remember getting in a game, and I was so excited to get it on my hands. I used to run to Funkoland or EB Games and bet my game. I'm talking about back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I come home running to it, taking the disc out, popping it into the system, uploading it, and then start playing it. And it was excitement from the beginning to the end. Nothing. The only thing I usually hear on the internet is release dates. I'm okay with that. Or trailers. Okay with that too. Or cinematic trailers or a little gameplay. Nothing, but he did not release what the game was about. It will tell you a release date. Okay. You got excited for the release date. Oh, come on, I got the game. That's it. But it did not spoil the game for you. You know, like reviews. I remember gaming magazine. This was a review, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I was okay with that. But the internet destroyed entertainment in general. Let's be honest here. I knew most of his incomes before. WrestleMania is another YouTube channel that covers all wrestling, any shape or form. He said, "Oh, the prediction and outcomes are X, Y, and Z." I think he nailed it 9 out of 10. All right, let's get my boy in here really fast. Let's get his thing up. Let's say hi to Wally.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
What's going on, my man? How are you tonight?
I'm all right.
All right. First question: did you watch WrestleMania?
Yes, I did.
Give me your honest opinion. And if you think I'm wrong, please tell me.
The last thing I heard you said by the time I came in was you was talking about John Cena. You wasn't in favor of him winning. That's the last thing I heard.
So I think WrestleMania is not as high end in a house. Oh my God, that you saw that on WrestleMania? You know, you used to talk about it in school the next day. I think 2 nights is way too much for them. And I think, Triple H is doing a great job. I'm not taking anything back from him. But 2 nights, I think, is too much. And WrestleMania doesn't have the wow factor like it used to back in the day.
What's going on, Eric? I don't have the problem with the 2 nights, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more bodies, depending on how good. I would say this. It's not about it being 2 nights. It's about the production and how it's being done and what's being done. That's what I care about the most. So I don't really matter if it's, if it's 2 nights per se. But
I'll give you that.
So that's my first thing. As far as you saying Triple H is doing a good job, I wouldn't give him that. I think he's doing a poor job personally. I'm
personal opinion. That's fair.
Because I'm on the funny joke bandwagon of saying hashtag bring back Vince. Yeah, but
I'm really like Vince that more than H.
I mean, honestly,
I don't think he did a great job, to be honest with you, towards the end.
I mean, look, I say it like this. Vince has his place just like Triple H has his place as well. My only problem is with Triple H is ever since you took over, these stories don't fucking add the fuck up. At least with Vince, at least I get a decent storyline. Like regardless of how I feel about it, but at least I get a decent storyline. But this,
I'm going to give you a little pushback. Here's my pushback. When
ahead.
he used to change the story a little as they going out the ring, the theme song like do. I'm like, oh, by the way, we're changing the storyline. Here we go. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, go. I'm like, that's one thing. Like the wrestlers didn't know where to go sometimes because.
I mean, yeah, no, that part, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing as far as matches, but I'm talking about just in general of the story, like telling the whole damn product start to finish. Because again, if I were me and I'm bringing back Roman Reigns, the way how you brought that story back into play, that was horrible. That
bloodline, you didn't like the bloodline story, Arrow?
No. The beginning was good. The way how you worked it in after the fact, after him losing and coming back, was horrible. That was not poetic justice. That was just
when he went on hiatus for a little bit, you mean?
Yeah, when he went on a hiatus and then he came back. the way how they were sort of selling the vibe and everything in
Mm-hmm.
between him, Jay, Jimmy, and all that, I'm like, okay, this is horrible. This is ultimately horrible. It's
I
just
am
not that good.
50-50 mix on that. I think they had some great points of it and some bad points of it. I like the idea he was beefing with Jay, like, yo, stop disrespecting me. You're gonna show me real respect. I fucking walk. I don't need you anymore. That part I did like, to be honest with you.
I mean, again,
Each their own.
it's like again, I mean, that's one part. One part don't fix the whole thing though.
I never said that. I said I like some parts of it. I never said the whole thing. Listen, nothing can be perfect. Let's be honest here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it ain't gonna be perfect, but at the end of the day, it's like again, if you, I'm talking. Well, again, I'm arguing the whole thing, and so far, based upon the whole thing, where it started to where it finished, it ended poorly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like he's just not a great storyteller. He don't know how to clean it up. So I just don't. I'm not really in favor of his things, and he's crying right now because people are giving him the backlash, and he knows that he's working like a piece of shit. Like literally, like right now, they just worked off certain stars right now, and some of those stars that he just cut off were literally in a storyline. Like, what is this? You had one person, a part of the female tag team, that was supposed to go get a title match. Now you just cut one of them and send them packing. Oh wow!
The question is it that his co or his higher up bosses now? Because don't forget, he's not only he has to answer the bosses now. He does have a higher up now too. TKO, I believe, is it right?
And if okay, fine. So if it's TKO, then again, if TKO knew that they were going to fire somebody that you just put in a title match, then again, either which way on either side, it's still stupid. That's why I'm like, regardless, Triple H or them, it's like you just saw this man put her there. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, whoever, you just saw them put them there, and now you're just gonna tell them, "I'm sorry, we just gonna have to let you go of your services." What the fuck?
Vince used to do the same thing sometimes. Remember that he fired a lot of when he cleaned house. Remember when he cleaned house? A lot of wrestlers. Like I always wondered why. Braun Strowman. They fired him like when he was right in the middle of a storyline, like with I think it was Bobby Lashley, if I'm not mistaken. And I like what for a world title match too? That one surprised me.
They fired him.
Yeah, let him go. That. Yeah, it was during the COVID era when they cleaned house.
It was around the COVID era.
I'm sorry?
I'm sure it was in the COVID era. What are you talking about?
Yeah, towards the end, he got fired, bro.
He was
fired for a little bit.
No, he was probably injured, but not fired.
No, he was fired. And then Triple H brought him back. And again, Triple H hasn't done nothing with him either since he brought him back. Look it up, you don't believe me.
No, because I remember what happened. Because in the COVID era, he was a champion, and he was facing Bray Wyatt when he was in his little Fiend form, and then Roman Reigns came back and smashed both of them with a chair. So I remember he was there in the COVID era.
He was fired later on. Maybe it was after COVID.
He was
Maybe I'm have it wrong.
Okay, well, I don't know how the story is, but no, I know he was there and he was still there. The only difference is he was injured because of certain things that of his health, and he couldn't stay around, so he was gone for like a good time. But other than that, that's really it.
Yeah, he was gone for injury. I'm not denying that. But when he came back and they put him into a what's called a world title card, Vince fired his ass. He was going at he was beefing with Bobby Lansky, whatever his fucking name is.
I'm gonna have to check this up for a database. I don't know.
Yeah, and like a lot of people don't remember because it was such a small window. He wasn't gone for a long time, and then right after that, the whole sex scandal came out with Vince, and then Troy took over at that point, and people were like, "Oh," like, and he ever since he came back, they have done nothing with Braun's at all. That's one thing that surprised me. They have done nothing with him. Maybe appearing.
It's called bad timing.
You think so?
Of course. You got to remember, look at the landscape of where everything's at.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't got a good, if he's not in a good place to even look good, then of course you're not gonna give him nothing to do. It's just obvious.
You think the roster is overcrowded right now?
I wouldn't say overcrowded. I would say like it's just where the landscape. Wait, I said by Vince, and this gave me something else. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at it. I'm gonna have to just check it out later. But but no, I mean, I don't think so. It's over. I mean, the thing is, what is your what is your definition of overcrowded? Because again, even right now, right? Like even right now, currently, was it overcrowded to the point that it can't sell? Like you can't find people to get a title match? No, I mean, I don't think so. It's overcrowded. The problem is, this is what I'm saying. Like you have multiple titles. You have the world title. You have the females world title. You have the tag team titles. You have the Intercontinental title, you have the women's Intercontinental title, now you have, and then what else? Yeah. So eventually you have to figure that out. Then you have to make non-people with titles have a story to work up to the title. So, I mean, both ways, either which way, how can that be crowded if you're ultimately trying to use everybody to piggyback off of the next person? I mean, in most cases, and the sad thing is most people are just gone just because their storyline tanked or whatever which way, or they're injured. So again, even when people are injured and gone away, you still have time to even make space. Most people are just not usable for whatever reasons that WWE doesn't want to use them, and or in this case, Triple H don't want to use them, and then it becomes what it becomes. And even if you were to quote unquote were to just surplus them back down to NXT, which honestly, let's be honest, it's just becoming a very wide form. Like right now, like if you were to tell me, do I think NXT is morally crowded? No, I wouldn't even say it's crowded. It was just a lackluster of guy competition because let's be honest here. When you look at every other dude on that roster, Opafemi already went through all of them and crashed all of them. Who is going to face next? You're just going to circle around and go be like, hey, TNA, we need your help. Oh, wow. Amazing.
I haven't really watched too much NXT because I don't have cable. I watch the highlights here and there, but
I mean, NXT is not like CW.
Yeah, no, I don't have cable. Like I said,
isn't CW like basic cable?
I don't even have basic. I have no cable at all. Only thing I can watch is like Hulu, Netflix, stuff like that. I live in a mountain, bro. Think about it. The closest thing I see is a bear. Pocono Mountain, Stroudsburg areas, Tannersville. People, you know what people do up here for fun?
Walking.
No, they go camping and snowboarding and hunting. I don't do neither.
Okay, the north is not where it's at. Thank you for letting me know.
I don't say that. I don't say don't move to the mountain area. Now with the NXT roster, I think they're overcrowded with men, not women. I think they need more women. Like
Are you
said.
serious?
Am I wrong? Again, I don't want so much NXT. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna correct you. To be honest with you, yeah. Like again, like there's a reason why I said what I said earlier. When you look at just right now, who's the guy now, which is Opafemi, and you look at the male competition, there's not like even if you gave him the male competition, he went past most of these guys. But because of how things are with certain people being a team and everything else, these guys most of these guys will become irrelevant because they're behind the main guy. So it's like, who cares? And then some of these guys are tag teams. So unless you separate them from the tag team part and make them a main star guy, then you even make it worse. So again, this is what I'm saying. It's lackluster on the male side. Females, there's enough competition for the females.
Do you think they're trying to push the females right now because the main roster is hurting for females? I personally don't think that, but I'm asking.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think so. The main roster is hurting on females. I just believe the problem with the female roster on the main roster is the stories. They're not involved. They're tanked.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. They're tanked. Like literally, they just finally did something with Lyle Valkyria, but look what it took to actually do something with her. They had to bring back what's her name? Know me, I really don't got time to remember her name. They had to bring back quote unquote Seth Rollins' wife back into the game, Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
and that's probably going to be the biggest story she had all to update ever since winning that title. Other than that, lackluster. Like literally lackluster.
I know Stephanie Vancouver was her name. I can't remember her name
Yeah,
exactly.
Stephanie Valkyrie. Yeah, she's the NXT champion.
Yeah, she showed up in a little bit, kind of like cockiness, a little bit, trying to show, hey, I'll be the next one in here taking your title, kind of thing. Like, I don't see her doing too much either, to be honest with you.
No, actually, I think. Oh, to be honest with you, I actually like Stephanie Valkyrie. She's probably one of the better stars out there. To be honest, ever since her coming into NXT with Julia and a few, well, mainly those two, but mainly some few others, those two are pretty much the more hotter talent, especially in the female division. Like, to be honest, if you were like, I don't know what's your idea of Roxanne Perez, but I believe that those two make Roxanne Perez look average.
I haven't really seen her perform too much to have an opinion about her performance yet. But the little bit of mic work I saw, it was like her mic work needs a little more work, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that was always going to be the contingency on them because that was the main question about those two coming in. Like even with the other one that they had, Zora, because that was another one that came into play. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but a lot of fans really like their style and how they wrestle. The talking part, yeah, it's going to definitely be the triggering point, but that's it pretty much. The wrestling part is locked in.
I'm going through the roster right now, and I do see a lot more females than males, like you said. It usually was always the other way around, more male than female.
It was, but I think in NXT, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's more bigger on that end.
I know they were trying to do this woman evolution for a while, and that flunked too really bad, if you remember.
It always flunks. That's why I always keep laughing. Because how can you have a women's evolution yet you only sell 4 motherfuckers?
Yeah. That's what like I said earlier, my problem with Flair was her coming back from a very serious injury, 2 injuries back to back, and she's on the title card already.
Hello. I've been called that out, but of course, she's WWE's princess.
Princess of what?
She's Ric Flair's daughter.
So? I don't give a shit who she is.
Hey, she's Triple H's 4 horsewomen, quote unquote. Like I tell you, there's 4 women Triple H always babysits. And guess what? They're the ones with the most titles. Ain't that ironic? This is why I say WWE's trash, especially on the end.
Do you like AEW better?
Fuck no. I mean, well, let's get real. Just because I say it's trash doesn't mean I put WWE down bottom. It's just, I'm just going to call it out. AEW is a whole nother case.
I think AEW came out swinging for the fence really hard when they first came out. The first few years, they did really well. But it reminded me of WCW getting all the fireys or people who left WWE into, like, you remember how they did back in the day? And it was like I say, swinging for the fence at first. They had some great storylines at first. But now I'm like, it's boring.
And look, I've always been a strong, hard critic of AEW since the jump. I never gave it no praise. I never gave it no look. Ultimately, I just didn't care. AEW is a walking contradiction of fuckery and stupidity. Like literally, like the thing is that the one thing I really hate about AEW is the moment you walked in and AEW started, this is how you know it was gonna fail. All these wrestling groups all came out of nowhere, thin air. You just started this bitch, and you got all these wrestling groups. This team, this team, this team. Like what?
That's what I would say. You're right, because when they start, they have like these divisions of like we had 1, 2, 3, 4. I know wrestling's always been about having this like groups.
Yes,
But
but that's a
AEW has
building
gone to the
block,
next level. Is everybody's in a group there.
and that was the problem. That was the problem. It was too fast, too soon. You just started. No, you like that to be doing all that shit. And then
Mhm.
to make it even worse, here's another reason why I don't like the AEW. You're not building nothing. You're subpar building the new talent, only to screw over the new talent and bring back the old talent. And it's like, bro, it's just getting old. It's one thing if you were doing sort of like TNA, right? You use WWE's rejects, you bring them along, they help build the new stars. The new stars are the ones you really invested in, and then they're the ones that are taking over the business. That makes sense. That's not what's going on, though. That's not what's going on. And that's why I'm like, AEW, go fuck yourself. No. Hell no.
The only little pushback with TNA I have, they don't only use the old wrestlers to push new ones up, but some of them do get some title matches. You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, this is my thing. Like, eventually, you do have to. There's a tug and pull. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have. Okay, I'll put it like this, right? I don't have a problem if you told me Chris Jericho or neither uh, John Maxley were to get a title in AEW as comparison to just how you're saying amongst TNA, right? I won't care
Mhm.
if they get a title. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. Because again, the idea is you're using the big face name, using the next new young guy to take over. So again, that's how it always does. So I'm cool with that. You use the more well-known guy, find the new younger guy. Younger guy takes out older guy, and then voila, you get your brand new start. Then it's like you build that up. You get the other younger guys to build up along the way through other bigger names, and then you fluctuate that. They sort of did that with MJF, right? They sort of
I
did that,
can't stand that guy.
and he's pretty good. They did it with him, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then what they did, he loses the title. He don't get a rematch. That's the dumb part about it. And then he's off, comes back. You sort of looking like a Triple H type style with the jeans, and like, I'm gonna beat you up. Only to then go get a title, go back to your old persona. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? No. I'm off that. Bye.
All right, because we're talking about different promotions. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about Joe Hendricks? He's hot.
Uh,
It has ice cold. People like him. People love him. Some people hate him.
So this is how I like to say this, right? Him coming to WrestleMania to face Randy Orton. I would say on one hand, it was a clever move by WWE because you need
Mhm.
someone there, and I think in fairness, it does gives a nice, respectable term of pull within partnership to say, hey, we're gonna put your big top guy, your world champion, against one of our top former champions at WrestleMania. That shows how good the partnership is. That's respect. On the other hand, I sit here and say to myself, could you have chosen someone else? In my opinion, yeah.
Okay,
Who?
cool.
I mean, in my opinion, I would say it had to be someone that's more of a flagship, and their flagship guy is Moose. But the thing is, I understand like on a political like wrestling type way is like, okay, I think that wouldn't work because of what title he has and where he's at in the story and all that. I guess whatever. So I'm guessing it wouldn't work. So again, I'm okay with the Joe Hendry part. And plus, he actually played perfectly in the role of in the wrestling match because the moment he did that stupid turn with having the crowd saying, I believe in Joe Hendry, that sorry ass shit, I can't stand him. Oh my God, so cringe.
But
But when
that's why it makes it so good. He even said it in an interview. I can't remember that YouTuber's name who interviews wrestlers only.
Chris Vault something.
Yeah, he said when he was working on his intro, he wanted something that people will get mad when it's stuck in their heads. It's something that is a catchy tone. Like when you get in your head, like you can't get it out. I remember hearing this fucking song the first time. and like say his name and it appears, I'm like, I want to punch his fucking bright ass teeth down his fucking throat with the fucking ugly smile he has. Yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah. So it was just like
You know what would be funny if they actually did it, but they didn't? Nick, who's a TNA, I can't remember what his WWE name was.
Oh, you're talking about I know you're talking about
He's a tag team world title in TNA right now.
Yeah. I forgot his original WWE name. I forgot his.
Yeah.
I know.
It would be pretty fucking ballsy if they brought him to wrestle Randy.
It wasn't gonna happen.
I know it wasn't gonna happen. I'm just saying, it'd be ballsy if they did.
I mean, they did. I mean, the obvious is good. He was gonna lose.
Yeah, they were gonna lose no matter what. They was not gonna have a TNA wrestler win on a WrestleMania match. No way.
Well, and that was the thing, and that's why I'm like, well, yeah. Regardless, it was never gonna happen, of course. But that's why I'm saying it was just done. But even then, like again, just for like the shits and giggles of it all. That moment, that was a Kodak moment. That was a Kodak moment. Because the moment he did that stupid turn and Randy Orton slides right in, boom, RKO. I'm like, that's a Kodak moment. That was the greatest moment in WrestleMania. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Kodak moment. That's gonna be remembered for life. That's gonna be remembered for life.
Now, let me ask you this question. And I have my opinion about this, and I kind of said earlier, I'm gonna say again after you give your opinion. How do you feel about John Cena winning another goddamn title? So,
in fairness, my first thing about John Cena was Johnny Boy don't need another title because at the end of the damn day, he's already the top guy. He's always been the top guy. Everyone will sit here and say, "Well, Ric Flair has 16 or multiple whatever titles." Again, if you're going to sit here and buy all these again, this is why I say apples to oranges. Ric Flair, your titles had to be bought into WWE. You only had 2 world titles in WWE, ultimately, that you worked for. John Cena worked for 16. I don't want to hear this argument no more. His whole career, 16 world titles. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't. You have not worked not even that much. Someone had to buy your title reigns and as well as buying the corporations and bring it and say this is what it is, just to put a nice medal on it and say, hey, this is what everyone that works for WWE has to work hard for. Fuck out of here. No.
Let me give a big shout out to North Face. Guys, if you like growing a beard or any beard product, check out True North Beard Corp. He's one of the best. North, drop your link in the chat, please, so everybody can find your website.
Wait, does he have a wrench?
Orange what?
No, he needs a wrench to drop the link. If he drops the link, no one can't see it.
No, he can drop the link in the chats. For his website, yeah.
You better hope so, because I'm telling you, without a wrench, you cannot drop a link.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna do it instead. I don't think.
But no, but I didn't finish. But going back to it.
Right.
So on one side, yeah, again, I didn't think he needed it, but again, this is, hey, do you want to do this? Fine. But on the other hand, do I actually like the idea that he won? Yes, I did. Why? Simple. There was 1 to 2 things. Well, let's get one thing clear. The wrestling match was hilarious. John Cena was trolling the shit out of Cody throughout that whole match, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Because what did Cody said? You can't wrestle. At least they never said I couldn't wrestle. Okay. But guess what? 1, how long since it's been since they actually said that he couldn't wrestle and then they stopped saying it? That's one thing. 2,
oh God, yeah.
This guy literally was just sitting here going slow. I'm thinking he's just getting old. No, he was just doing this just to troll you long term in. And then I'm like, okay, he's going. This is becoming hilarious. I'm savoring every motion like you're just eating ice cream. Just savor every bite. And you're just looking at all this. And then he goes sit him. He's like, don't hurt me, Cody. Don't hit me with the belt. And Cody's like, I gotta do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my God. And then you act like a punk and you don't do it, which you haven't did it already. But the reality is, what is the clear visual of why I liked it? Because what was the one mission that The Rock wanted? He wanted Cody Rhodes. He wanted Cody Rhodes' soul. And guess what? His soul is being questioned at that point in time.
Mhm.
So again, for understanding story and then all that mixed together, it was hilarious. But the problem is though, the problem is at the end of it though, it's like The Rock didn't came, and some people are already alluding, or rumors are out there saying that the reason why is because the back and forth between him and Triple H, and I'm guessing there's a reason for that, and it's like he didn't show up just to show him why it sort of sucked, and people are calling it out, and they're because let's be honest, if Travis Scott there, The Rock should not be far behind, but of course he was, and there was no appearance of The Rock. So this becomes a problem because again, The Rock was signaling off within handshakes, right? He signaled one, ergo that's John. There's this two. So like, where's the next person coming into play in this? You know what I'm saying? So, and then as far as just his stuff and where his ultimate goal is overall. And because we're being very lukewarm on this ultimate goal and where's his side of the story and why he was doing all this, ultimately, this story becomes really just trash. But if we're just focusing on just John Cena and Cody, at the end of the damn day, what the company ended up saying is simple. John Cena's the flagship boy. And at the end of the damn day, you're all chasing him. I mean, yeah, he always has been, but my thing is, you're always going to be chasing John Cena. This is why I'm saying the idea of Ric Flair is dead because no one really is chasing Ric Flair. You only got 2 belts in WWE. I don't care about how much titles you have overall. Because guess what? If that's the case, are we going to sit here and saying that AJ Styles, amongst the titles that he won in WWE plus the NWA overall in another time of TNA, and you're going to add that too? Are we going to add R-Truth's world title for one time? Because technically you bought it once upon a time, right? So you may as well add everyone's titles then. It's like, I don't have time. I don't care. Again, this is what I'm saying. You did it in one corporation. That makes you bigger than life. Ric Flair did it in multiple. You had to add that up. Irrelevant. So I'm like, again, this is just a clairvoyancy. Everything runs through John Cena right now.
Question: you say he wrestled for NWA at one point?
Yeah, you can go look it up. Yeah, he had there's multiple different ones, but yeah, he had NWA under there. He had some other corporations.
Isn't NWA overseas? Because I don't hear too much about them, to be honest with you.
As far as the new platform, I don't even know. I think it's in America. Just don't have to.
Well, I've heard of NWA, but I haven't seen too much footage on NWA. If that makes sense.
It's on YouTube, so you can look it up.
It is. I've seen clips, but not too much of it.
Yeah.
But I know they're a smaller promotion versus,
because it's on the
and all those other ones.
Yeah, it's on the recline, but it should be in America. But yeah. But other than that, like I said, I like it. I'm liking how it's going. I just wish the angle of The Rock eventually plays in because this is just in the airwaves of like, okay.
Here's my issue with The Rock thing. The Rock schedule is so unpredictable with his everything, all these projects from acting for running, board man at TKO, his other companies he runs, who knows what else he has planned. He has so much shit going on. The guy, when he signed the part of what I heard, I'm not sure what true is, part of him taking the part of the shareholder or whatever in TKO. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shareholder TKO. Yeah.
TKO was he had to appear every so often at a wrestling event or whatever, right? Okay, cool. I'm okay with that part. But the part I think I'm not okay with him not having to stay scheduled saying, "Oh, I'm going to show up here." When he starts a storyline, all of a sudden he might have to switch gears, something happened, and he wants his company, he has to fly out real fast. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Like, it's sort of a little bit of
all over the place
because
all over the place.
I mean, I wouldn't say all over the place. I'm saying it's more of a dry spot because again, it leaves that void of like, what is your end goal here? You're not selling nothing. You're not saying nothing. So it's like, eventually, this becomes very weird because now you're just hanging in the shadows, letting everything just be what it is, and it's like, well, this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, it's like, if you're signaling that there's supposed to be more members, then it's like, well, when is the next member coming in? Because again, I would believe if John Cena, quote unquote, does lose this title eventually, he's gonna lose it somewhere around a time frame where The Rock is involved. So, it's just sort of weird. So that's why I'm like,
What do you think about next month that or this month or whatever? AJ and Randy are going at it. I mean AJ, Cena and Randy.
I mean, honestly, I don't think too much of it. I just think of it
You
as
think it's a squash match?
it is because honestly, right now, do you really take the belt from John Cena at this point? No, you don't. You don't. You just don't. I'm gonna be honest, you just don't because the way I'm looking at this right now, and this is sort of very true, is like as long as John has the title, Randy don't come close in taking it away ultimately. And in a sense, he's technically right. Is like because what John Cena is sort of like angling with his story, well, as they're letting him angle in the story, is like I'm forcing you to start all over, right? Even though, let's be honest, everyone still got their numbers and all that. But the thing is, in a sense, he somewhat has a point because think about it. Randy Orton's about to be gone soon. Once he hits 50, he's retiring. And his contract is literally up until he's 50. So, yeah, whenever Randy Orton gets another chance to get a world title, okay, you let me know when that's going to happen. Triple H is already done. And then you think about almost everybody else, they're already gone. Technically, yeah, John Cena he's calling his shot. He is technically making WWE start all over because anybody that has almost 10 titles, they're already gone. They're already vamoose. They're in another freaking industry.
So you're saying they're doing like a reboot of the company right now?
If you really think about it, they sort of are. And Eric's like, oh, blah, bury Cena. Hey, look, they will bury him, but the thing is like, it is what it is. But
so Eric is not a fan of WWE yet, pretty much. I joked around. He's a fan of Vince. He hates Vince with a passion. Anything that comes to Vince's product, he hates with a passion. He likes the old school Toro era, and it was good back then. I'm not denying that, but the era has died off pretty much when Vince did what he did, bought almost everybody out. So let me ask you one more question. I'll get into my biggest nerve wracking. I hate the most. Malakala Black is back. What's your feelings behind that?
oh, you mean Aleister Black?
Yeah, whatever his fucking name is. They change his name all the time.
I mean, Malachi Black was in AEW, but yeah.
Well, according to Rossi, they have a Malakala Black here, so.
Let me see.
I might be wrong.
They got him as Aleister Black. They got him as his original.
I scrolled fast, so I didn't really.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah.
I have my opinions behind it because I want to see your opinion.
No, I actually like I like Aleister Black. He's pretty good in my opinion.
I agree. He's good. I knew he was going to be back eventually. I think he got burned out with the schedule because I know the new schedule is more lenient for wrestlers. If they need a couple days off, Triple H understands they have family, they have life outside the wrestling thing. Or you disagree?
I mean, I will say this, right? Because I remember I seen a clip, right? They said when CM Punk was under Vince, Vince would not let CM Punk take any vacation time to be with family and all that. But then with Triple H, he's able to take vacation time with his family and be with his girl, and they were at a hockey game, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honestly, but that's the thing, though, right? I get that part, and that's all cool. But here's the reality. When you're being sold as one of the top entities of the wrestling industry, it is going to be very demanding. Why do you think Johnny Boy was always the champion? Because he was the main one that wanted to do it all. He was the one that's like, yes, sir. He was ready to go. Well, but that's my thing. It's like, but that's the thing, right? In an industry like this, or just any industry, ultimately, it's like, how it always works. If you're always the one open, you're always willing to do the work and all this other stuff, you usually get the most favor. And guess what? You end up getting the most favor. So it's like, I mean, I say it like this, right? It all really depends on who it is, where you at, and how you see it, and how you feel about it. Then it's like, whatever. So for CM Punk, I can understand, like, yeah, he may have a better life situational schedule, and people may like it under Triple H because of the leniency. Like he understands family first before the job. But then it's like, okay, that's all cool. I mean, for him, it's easy. I don't know how it is for everybody else per se, but it's like I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, everybody else is like, okay, if CM Punk's gone, does it really matter? No, no, because again, it's like just knocking on dead wood.
So when Black left TNA, I don't remember what the reasons he left. It was a contract issue or he got pissed off. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I kind of knew he would be back in WWE. Not if, it was when. So
Talking
when
about
the league,
Aleister Black, or are you talking about CM Punk in this case?
Allison, right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So with CM Punk, that was a question mark for me because I don't know if he was ever be step foot through a WWE ring again. He did show his face at a show they were doing on air. He goes like, here's change shit up pretty much. But that show lasted maybe 3 episodes, and it got canceled. But when TNA released Black, I knew he was like my time. Whatever the reasons, I don't remember. I don't really give a shit, to be honest.
I mean, for AEW, I don't know what it was really. I just know it was something about like it, wherever the direction just wasn't going. I mean, again, this is why I sit here and say this. Personally, I say this once, I'll say it again. If anyone believes that AEW is good, you're full of shit because they just horrible in story. They're just horrible. They're horrible. I will never give them no credit. I don't care what no one say.
I'm gonna look it up really fast because let's see what we get. The only thing it's saying here, it was a long time coming. He was removed off the AEW roster immediately. And rumors have been coming around there. He might be going back to WWE. That's one thing is really is giving me here.
I mean, look, a lot of people that left WWE to go to AEW, they wasn't really trying to go there. I mean, some of them only went there because it just was the next move because, WWE just couldn't hold everybody amongst the COVID issue. I mean, that's the only reason why most people were over there. I mean, some people were over there because WWE just didn't look at them like that or whatever. It is what it is, but it just...
So here's where my big hiccup with WrestleMania and any kind of wrestling wow factor. The internet. I mentioned it earlier.
Wait,
WrestleMania, whatever it's called, the channel, says it days ahead before WrestleMania even debuts. Oh my God, this is, they break it down by match by match by match. This is going to win. This is going to win. This is going to lose. This is going to win. This is going to this happen and this and this and this. They don't get into too much details, but they can tell you who the outcome is. If we know already the outcome of that, it kind of takes the wow factor away. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, where did he got that info?
Where he gets it from, I'm not sure where the guy who runs WrestleMania, the channel. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Okay, so I know what you're talking about. I mean, look, if he put it out there, then he's an idiot because he should have never did that. But yeah, there's certain people
doing it for years.
Huh?
He's been doing it for years.
Like he actually tells you the exact prediction.
Yeah, he not to me. He told all his followers and subscribers who the prediction are on a video, on a YouTube video.
Yeah, so he makes predictions. He's not actually telling you the actual prediction.
He's saying the rumors are.
Okay, so you give rumor predictions. Okay, so yeah, because I only make predictions. I don't give rumor predictions. I make predictions. But yeah, if he tells the rumor predictions, then people that listen were just idiots. I don't know what to tell you.
But the funny part, 99.9%, he was actually on point.
Yeah, but it's just horrible. It's just horrible.
Paul is saying, what's good, everyone? Didn't get the chance to watch this year's WrestleMania. Honestly, thought the men's side the most.
It's
Go ahead. You can finish it off.
it's mostly aged veterans past their prime who will be the under 30 face of WWE.
He does have a good point there.
But see, again, this is why I go back to the idea of saying what John Cena was always saying. Again, he's forcing WWE to quote unquote reset. Because again, like going back to what I was saying, this is why I said this. This is why I'm saying what he said is actually funny and very true. Because look at this, right? John Cena right now is the current 17 times, Ric Flair 16, Triple H is 14, Randy Orton's 14, Hulk Hogan's 12, Edge is 11, Brock Lesnar is 10, The Rock is 10, Sting, I'm guessing that's WCW records, is 10, and Bernie Gain is 10.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that overall, as far as just having world titles, again, this is why I'm saying like it's cooked. It is reset because literally anybody else under that is already gone. So technically, you having a new face.
Yeah.
Unless they make Randy Orton go on a big heel turn towards the end of his career and trying to hold the title for as long as he can, which they may, well, more likely will, because at that point, he could be the last relic there.
He's one of the few last people that actually wows people still. You know what I'm saying?
Well, of course, because he just like the RKO is always a funny tidbit of whenever he pops up and smash they face him. So that's what I'm saying. But as far as to what Paul Bennett's saying, like who's going to be the new face of WWE that's young and still got time to be the whole thing. I mean, it all depends. There's a couple of decency people, but the thing is, that's the problem. Like some of the people that are still the young faces are. It all really depends on where Triple H is at with it, because Triple H is either taking certain people that should be somewhat champions or could be champions along the road. It's literally like you never know what's gonna be because you just don't know what you're getting right now. Like Seth Rollins, he's over here talking about the company in the future goes through him. And I'm like, Negro, you're 30-something years. You're 8 years old, only with 3 titles. The future going through you? Yeah, okay. Okay.
See, here's one thing with the heel turn again with Seth Rollins. The way they do it is usually the same way most of the times, if you really think about it. He backstabs somebody.
Of course,
first
that's my thing. But of course, I mean, look, from a heel perspective, ultimately, he's one of the best to do it. As most people tell you. But from an overall standpoint of just looking at it for what it is, it's like, bro, you're the most spineless person in the room. Like, literally, you're the most spineless person in the room. This is why I say, honestly, in my opinion, out of all 3 people in the Shield, I'm sorry, like, he's the last person for me. He's the last person for me. I mean, as far as work in the ring, yeah, he's definitely, most people say he's either like 1 to 2. Some may say Dean Ambrose, maybe you get him over a little bit, give or take, whatever. But overall, when you look at his career, Negro, you've been carried for your whole livelihood. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, they had to do it on their own muscle. Get out of here.
What do you think about that?
You know what, Eric? I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with some of you. I agree with it, but in some cases, some people may say, you know what? Some of the quote unquote jobbers that should have stayed jobbers actually deserve to be a champion. Prime example, Jinder Mahal. Most people thought he deserved to still be a jobber. I ain't gonna lie. In the right timing, I was okay with him being champion. I think they just didn't sell it right at the right time, though, because the 2 douchebags that he had with him, I forgot the Moy's name as a team, they weren't really the best thing for him. If they got the other 2 guys, the other 2 bigger guys that came on the way with WWE, now I'd have been like, okay, now it's more believable. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I wasn't mad at them doing that because again, it was just trying to keep things fresh. So I don't have no problem with certain people that are totally jobbers having a championship as long as it actually makes sense for that point in time and it was decently good. And I was okay with him being champion. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
I don't know how I feel about that personally. You know what I'm saying?
No, like I said, that's what I'm saying. It all really depends on where you take it. That's why I'm like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It's like yeah.
I personally think Roman Reigns is going to be the next face of the company right now.
I mean,
I mean, yes. What do you think about him?
He already is.
Yeah,
He already is. Like, let's just be real here. Cody could have took the title away from him. Guess what? The next freaking day of a regular show, people are still crying out for Roman. Well, where do we do that at? They were still screaming for Roman Reigns. Like, so honestly, I'm not surprised. It's like, hey,
I'm not either because Roman was always like the most of the favorable person of the Shield.
I mean,
The only time
I wouldn't say he's the favorite. He was like, he's the most improved of the group. He's the most improved. He's became likable. But he had it took a lot for him because again, honestly, it took a lot to find the je ne sais quoi for Roman because you didn't know what to really give him, which is why it sort of was so problematic with trying to sell him as a character. But when they gave him the tribal chief, I'm like, yeah, now they finally gave him the right image. They gave him the right image.
Yeah, when they're trying to shove him down as a babyface, as the big dog, I think that's why people push back so much because you're shoving it down people's throat, and they don't want that.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. So it's like it just didn't feel genuine. So it just felt very horrible. That's why it was very much problematic. But even the thing was, it's like even if they shoved it, the thing is they shoved it and it didn't work in its favor because okay, you shoved it, but every other time around the time frame he ends up getting a title, it's not in the most significant way. Because let's be real, you constantly put him against Brock Lesnar, but eventually you tank him. So it's like, okay, well, that sucked. The one time that you didn't tank him is when he had his group, and I'm like, well, that was pointless.
The Shield, you mean, right?
No, I'm talking about when he was with the Usos at that point. As far as being tribal chief, he faces Brock. Okay. Yeah, it was just pointless. So that's what I'm saying. Everything beforehand, it was like it's so lackluster because, like, well, let's be real here. As far as body size and everything else, who else was gonna really beat Brock? Honestly, in that size dimension, like really. Two, and it's like, okay, you want to do like, oh, I'm the big dog. This is my yard. It's like, again, if you wanted someone to take Undertaker's like undefeated streak again, I do agree. Some people could have just taken it. Could have been someone freshly brand new because the him and Brock thing was a little bit long term. But again, it still had history. It still had long terms. The only problem is they just didn't work it up though, and that's the thing. They just didn't work it up. But it had history, just didn't work it up. So it's just like really, as much as people were like, because I tell you right now, if Vince was still around, Vince would not have even pushed Roman Reigns to be the guy. It's Triple H pushing Roman Reigns to be the guy.
I thought it was the other way around.
No. Vince did not want to push Roman Reigns. You know who Vince was about to push to be the guy? He was about to push I forgot the brother's name already. He was a part of the New Day. I forgot Big E. He was about to push Big E to be the guy. That was his idea.
I remember that, but he got hurt.
Triple H tanked his behind. No, he didn't get hurt before this. Triple H tanked his behind and said, no, we got to go with Roman. He was so adamant to go with Roman. So now, further steps later, we go with Roman. Big E gets injured because he's done with lesser talent, and here we are today. Big E's injured, Roman Reigns on top of the world, and Triple H is still a scumbag.
I don't remember that. I thought it was the other way around. Personally,
Nope.
that's how
You
I
go
remember
go
it.
look it up, bro. I've heard reports. I've already got it already cleared. I haven't done a breakdown yet, but I've literally like I'm
No,
so
I
serious.
believe you. I'm not gonna look it up.
Like
I believe you.
he was really on going for Big E, and I'm like, it makes perfect sense because again, Big E has enough charisma. He had enough of the talent. He was big guy. He was fastball guy. So it's like you got everything you wanted. And Triple H, and let's be honest, Vince is always a big man guy. So move fast. He got charisma. Everything else sold, sold,
Mhm.
sold, sold. Roman on the other end, he don't got sauce. You can't sell him until they made him get some sauce. And then now you can sell him because now the whole world is following suit. And all it takes is a finger.
I gotta give you credit for that. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, but that's how funny it is, right? Something very simple, like yeets, and the whole world follows the trend. It's something that simple, and
Dude,
hey,
like when back in the day, the catch lines like "Hell yeah" was the thing.
hell yeah, what? Bless you, bless you.
Thank you. I don't want to sneeze in your ears, guys. Um, it was the only real issue I had once. If you remember when Brock Lesnar broke the streak,
Mm.
I still to this day I have a problem with that. And I know Undertaker has mentioned multiple times he had an issue with that too. If they told him to break the streak with somebody that didn't give a shit, pretty much, or somebody who actually was a newcomer, yeah, he makes sense to put him over. But somebody who didn't give a shit, like Brock Lesnar, who's already made a name for himself, didn't make no sense to him. And I agree with that.
I mean, again, this is the idea of like what you want to do. Again, they were trying to sell this a long time ago, so it's like, and I say this, it may have not made sense in the start to make Brock, even though again I was still defer and I say, well, there's history there. You made history about this. The guy literally went to a UFC event and everyone saw this. Like, don't act like this is not in history. Don't act like, oh, he's not supposed to remember like this was done. Like okay, let's be real. It's in history. It's in history. Now we got Brock back. Brock's like, hey, you remember me? You remember when you came to UFC to try to get me over here? What you want to do now, Bal? I mean, don't act like it ain't there. Again, I just think that part was just part of like they just didn't sell no story around it, or they didn't made it more saucy enough for people to want it. But honestly, when you think about the aftermath, again, you will still remember that black guy with the guys. He's like he is in shock and paralyzed. You'll still remember that face for the very damn day of your life. That face will be haunting you forever in memories of that streak being broken. Because at the end of the day, the aftermath was beautiful. You had no choice but to respect it because everyone was still in shock. Everyone was like, we didn't see this coming. Bitch, you had no choice but to see it coming. You didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you, because I don't think Brock was the one that should have dropped the streak, personally.
I mean, look, it could have been anybody else. It really could. In fairness, it could have been anybody else. But the problem is, again, this is the problem, but this is the problem that WWE failed to realize. Think about all the people that Undertaker has beaten while collecting this streak. You let this man face Triple H not once but twice. You let him face Shawn Michaels not once but twice, maybe even 3 times if I'm not mistaken. And these guys had to retire or neither just get beat down, whatever, every single time trying to do this. And let's be honest, you would say in visual sense, these were the closest people you had to get this done. And the thing is, they still failed. So when you think to yourself, at the magnitude of all these guys that try to do this, and failed. How much more? Like, what does it take? It takes a beast incarnate. Hello, like again, don't be mad at me. They're the ones that sell it. Because again, are you gonna believe? Would I believe Roman do it? Sure. But then again, the way it sells, everything else, and the timing of all that, you have to be very keen on how you're doing it. Because again, if we're selling wrestling plus then the idea of him losing, think of it this way. Because I could see a moment where Roman's going to go for the spear. He goes for the spear. Only thing is, Undertaker makes it believe that he took a spear, when in reality, he went into the Hell's Gates. Now he's about to choke out Roman. And he's about to fumble the fucking bag. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like, so again, it's like if that's only if they were to sell it that way. I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but if they were slick enough to sell it that way, it's gonna be problematic. And Eric says, I would have dread to book Chris Benoit
over Undertaker before
the greatest day in wrestling history. Oh, see, Eric, it's such a pain. It's such a heartful pain to see it done. The streak should have ended 5 to 7 years ago.
All right, let's take one at a time. Let's take Eric's comment first. So here's the issue. Okay, so I have watched multiple interviews about this. I have watched multiple people talk about this. Benoit was a great performer. Cannot take that away from him. What he did was tragic, disgusting, and destroyed his legacy.
As far as we think we know.
Agree. So now, by that said, put all that to the side. Do I think Benoit would have had a match with Undertaker and break the streak? Absolutely not. I can see somebody else doing it instead of him. If it was a different card setup, or back in the day when the Attitude Era, I can see Goldberg doing it, or Cena, or somebody else breaking the streak.
Okay, so well, funny you mentioned Goldberg because Paul Bennett put it in there. What if Goldberg ended the streak after the invasion? He buries Lesnar and Brock. He buries Lesnar and Brock. They're to the same thing. But I mean, the invasion, I don't think so that would even happen. I mean, unless that's a pay-per-view. But even then, it's like, again, the streak has to be broken at WrestleMania. So I don't know. So if you're talking about the invasion as far as WCW wise, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, honestly, to me, again, it's like if the streak was gonna end, it was gonna end with Sting at best. I think that would have been the ideal thing. But even then, I don't think so. In the pride of WWE, they will probably allow that to even happen either. They'll just make the match, but they would not let Undertaker. They would not let Sting take the undefeated streak per se. But yeah, but it's like, again, like if I'm just taking okay, so touch on bases, right? This is everything before that 2014 when Brock took it, right? You had CM Punk, that was 2013. You had Triple H 2012. You had Triple H 2011. You had Shawn Michaels 2010. You had Shawn Michaels in 2009. Okay, 09. You had Edge 08. Technically, 08 was one of the options to destroy it because Edge was given the opportunity, but Edge was like, no, I'm not your guy. I'm not doing it. Oh, The Rock. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So then it was 07 Batista, 06 Mark Henry, Randy, but he was young. He wasn't at that tier, even though he was hitting that legendary persona. Kane in 04. So I mean, when you think about this overall, and you think about like just coming like towards the end, right? Again, when they hit this, I mean, CM Punk never had a chance. I don't give a frick what no one say. But just
CM Punk will be destroyed easily.
Yeah.
What happened to UFC and him?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that. But yeah, so when you think about looking at Triple H, looking at Shawn Michaels, I mean, the funny thing is too, they don't even count the John Cena match because technically they don't count that one at all, which is funny. But even then, you look at the magnitude of what he had to face like towards the end, and it's like you think to yourself, how close in between these guys are. Like literally, the second match was as much closer of Shawn Michaels winning than the first one. Then the second match for Triple H, even with help of Shawn Michaels, was still too close, and it still didn't get over. So, I mean, what more do you want? At this point, they sold the big dream but they didn't give Undertaker to the right person, so you gave them Brock Lesnar, and guess what? He came and delivered. Boo hoo. That's what I'm like. As far as for me personally, I'm not mad with it. I mean, I'm mad with it as far as just the story, but at the end result, when you look at them fans, oh, he did the job. He completed the job. He completed the job.
You're right. He did keep it the job. He did what he needed to do. Now, do I think The Rock had a good chance, defending the streak? Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Do I
you saying oh 03. Okay, so real quick, Mr. Bennett, yes, you said after 03. After 03. Well, no, they gave that to Kane, so that wasn't gonna. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the story leading around that, but that wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. You know what? Early Brock back then, I could see that happen early back then. But even then, they wasn't gonna do that. That was their biggest commodity back then, and plus, Undertaker was still fresh back then. He was still moving like he was before, so that wasn't gonna happen. And plus, you got to remember that's Undertaker, like that's American Badass version, plus then his Dead Man version. Early Undertaker was just top tier. You couldn't destroy him early back then. Now, yeah, in recent time, yes, but early back then, no. If I had to predict where it should have died at the most respectable convenience, around that time when he's facing Shawn Michaels or Triple H, like somewhere around that time frame, that should have been done because again, you sell too much close matches. You sell way too much close matches. At that time, they should have definitely ended it right there.
So in his defense, I would say he was getting older. And his body was breaking down. He wasn't not wrestling as often, maybe once or twice a year. But it took him like 6 months to recover and get back into it. Yeah, I saw that already.
It's just like he's like F Cena, F Johnny Boy.
And I told you, two things he loves most are Krispy Kreme donuts and WWE. His two favorite things to talk about.
Oh Lord. But yeah, but look, you ain't lying, Eric. You ain't lying. I mean, they sort of over pushed him. But honestly, back then, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have to look back so far in between when they could have sold someone different for a decent time. But this is why I said this to this day, right? And it's sad because Cena had to throw this at Roman Reigns. He's like, the only reason I'm still here is because you don't know how to do your damn job. And that's the same message for everybody else that got tanked. You didn't know how to do your damn job. That's the reason.
Oh, yeah.
Why.
He had a good point there. When he said that, dropped that bomb, I'm like, oh, we're healing below belt. Oh, I remember when he said, I hope you didn't smoke your promo on your hand at the Roman Reigns back in the day. Remember you remember that? Eric, I fucking dog dare you come up here and say it to my face. Anybody can be a keyboard warrior, but when you say it in my face, I'm like, pop, 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 pop. So, Eric, I got a message to you. A very nice message.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
I don't need to put a flip. I will fucking say it. Wally knows I have no filter, and I'm very proud of it.
Apparently.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Who was that for?
That was for Eric again.
Okay.
Eric, you want one more? You know what? Let's do one more. It's for the hell of it.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, so you have reached your limit on clapping.
You know what? I think Eric has reached the maximum limits in one show so far. He got 3 in a row. He got 3 in a row. And nobody. Man, Eric, here's another one now.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
I got a lot more coming, buddy. Keep them up. Keep them up. I got more coming, my man. Joking aside, guys. Seriously, joking aside. Yeah, I really feel like he should have. Like, I think I'll back up Paul. He should have ended this streak 4, 7, 8 years earlier than it did. His body was breaking down. He couldn't wrestle anymore. And I got to show him a lot of respect. I'll tell you why. Undertaker, a lot of respect. He was the only person that kept kayfabe through his whole career and never broke it once.
but this is my thing. It's like, again, American Badass, throwback version Undertaker, a Dead Man. It was just too top tier. It's like, think of it like this, right? It is the biggest intellectual property you had back in the days. Why destroy it? Why? Why do that? No, you keep that bad boy going. Like, now again, that's what I'm saying. Like, towards like the time of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, that's where you should have ended it. Maybe even with Edge, but of course I know Edge didn't want to do it. But that's where you should have ended it. But again, this is the whole point. Like, hey,
American Badass was good. I'm not going to deny that, but it's not my favorite character of the Undertaker. Dead Man is my favorite one, and I'll be honest, it scared the shit out of me as a kid. That's why I like it now. I know I'm weird.
no, I understand. Just I understand. Baby Groot. Eric C. David's gonna get you for that.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what Baby Groot. He's taking his baby nap right now.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm gonna say. And you know what? I'm gonna let him know you said that. But joking on the side, I really feel that Undertaker was better as Dead Man. When he finally retired, he technically didn't retire. He still shows his face time to time. It was overdue, I think. Let me ask you a question as we're talking about. How do you feel with the Hall of Fame?
The Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
As far as people getting entry, that
In general, altogether.
I mean, I really didn't watch it, honestly. I mean, I seen a little bit of it, but I didn't really watch it like that. I don't really take too privy to it to the degree. I mean, granted, yeah, some moments of this and that. I really don't watch Hall of Fame like that to that degree. So,
I do. I actually enjoy the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you.
no, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's like some moments, some tears, some tear jerkers and all that. Like, I know that, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, because sometimes when you think to yourself, like, who should have been inducted, and it's like, why is it taking so long to induct this person? Or, certain people won't be inducted because of, what? It's like, I don't really mind it too much. And
here's the thing. I started watching it when they started doing the Hall of Fame in the early 2000s. Always enjoyed it. I think it was a really good show. I remember it was on cable TV. I think it was on the Sci-Fi or USA. I can't remember what channel what they used to do it.
The Hall of Fame, I think they usually recorded somewhere else, but yeah.
When it first, I mean, talking about early 2000s. I'm talking about when it first started.
I forgot where exactly they played. No, I think the Hall of Fame. No, yeah, back in the days they usually just put that on pay-per-view.
No, Hall of Fame was never on pay-per-view. The WrestleMania was, because remember WrestleMania. Hall of Fame was always on a Thursday or Friday.
I mean, eventually they did put that on pay-per-view because you couldn't.
Yes, they did. And you should get it as a package, because once you got if you bought for WrestleMania, you got that automatically, because WrestleMania was on a Sunday only back then, and on a Sunday was a Hall of Fame. So at one point they did. I never paid the pay-per-view for Hall of Fame.
Actually, WrestleMania back then was just Sunday. I think the Hall of Fame would have been Saturday. That's what I remember, because they usually had wrestling on Sundays for pay-per-views. Back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was Hall of Fame was on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so what I'm saying to you is I started watching it early on, and I always liked it. The only time I start disliking it when they were doing the whole half-ring Hall of Fame thing, and that was Vince McMahon saying, "Oh, this would be better for us." I think that was cheesy as fuck. When they went back, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, because when you think about, if you ever played one of the throwback video games of WWE, and you notice the Hall of Famers, when they come out in the game, they come out in that ring and that that quiet music. They don't really come out with their whole entrance. They come out the ring. They got that little like machine moving them, and it's a small ring. It's sort of tacky as hell. Like, I hate it.
They did that back in, I think it was WrestleMania 3. They did that the whole wrestling half ring ATV kind of thing, because how far the ring was. They were running out of breath before they get down there. But when they came back to the whole this format, I actually really did enjoy this Hall of Fame, to be honest with you. As much as I know you're not a fan of Triple H, I don't know if you ever was.
I mean, again, I'm not like, okay, we're talking about wrestler. That's one thing. As far as producer, that's another thing.
What I was going to say was
Yeah.
him entering the Hall of Fame, I think he earned that spot, to be honest with you. Hate him or like him, that's my personal opinion. You might say,
no,
you know what?
it's not even the fact of liking him. It's like, you have to think to yourself, like, okay, you recently retired, and then now you're already in the Hall of Fame. Like, look at how
It
much
wasn't his idea.
People, I mean, I know it wasn't his. I know it wasn't his idea, but I'm just saying, like, even then, it's like, but this is how it just goes to show, like, people are not really thinking. It's like, and again, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm glad in a sense they now induct Lex Luger because at least he was able to walk to the damn stage versus being wielded there. I mean, that's a decent, good moment of some clarity right there, because Dallas Page was helping him out get back to be able to walk again, which is great.
That I do know. Yes, I saw the documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, so that was great that he was able to walk to the stage and not be wheeled there. I mean, that's good. So I'm glad they did that in perfect timing. I give him that. But the rest of it is like, some of y'all are just too early. Others, like, yeah, it's deserving now, but it's like others are just too fucking early. Like, there's other people that could have been in the Hall of Fame, as far as I could have remembered. But then again, it's like, I really don't pay too much mind with who gets inducted. Ultimately, I really didn't care. Like someone got robbed or something like that. I didn't look at that like that. But I'm just like, okay, it happened. I didn't really sit there for, like, for the fun laughs and the memories and the tear jerkers. Like, it's like, okay, I just didn't want to stay there.
See, with the whole WrestleMania thing and everything else, the question keeps coming up. Do you think will Vince ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame? I go to no.
Because of the scandal, no. And I say this: if Vince does, well, yeah, and that's my whole point. Like, because the thing is this: if Vince does get inducted, then right now, right here, you can't stop the idea of Chris Benoit being inducted. You just can't. You just can't. You just can't. No, you can't. And that's the level of what I'm talking about. Like, if you induct Vince, you may as well induct Chris Benoit. You may well induct Eddie Guerrero. Like, stop playing.
No, Eddie was inducted.
Well, I don't know if he is, or if he probably is, but I don't know. I know they did a memory of him, but I don't think so. He's inducted per se. I don't remember.
I'm looking right now. Are you looking it up too?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, do you know China was inducted? Because I can't remember if she was or not. I think she was. China
was inducted.
That one surprised me a little bit, to be honest with you.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, yes, for the simple fact, because, if you know how to look through the internet, China was, boing, yoing, yoing, yoing.
He was picking around.
Woo! China got a package.
Yo, my man, she was pokey around.
I'm just saying. Okay, yeah, he is. Okay, yeah. Okay, he's the class of 06. He is inducted. Okay.
So I remember that right. Okay, I'm not going crazy here.
Yeah. So like I said, if Vince gets inducted, then yeah, you got to bring in Chris Benoit. That's my honest opinion.
There are a few people that they're going to be on the blacklist, but I bring him like oh man, what's his name? He was from the Hart Foundation.
Owen Hart.
Yeah, they like H has tried to get him in, and it's not they don't want to put him in. His brother wants him in. Everybody else wants him in. The person doesn't want to sign off on that. Is his wife, his widow, because she feels they killed him. And I can't. I'm not going to deny the truth. Go ahead.
I mean, honestly, and I'm not mad at her for saying that. I'm not mad at her for
me neither.
Because the thing is, I'm sorry, but like when you look at the magnitude of it all, and this is why I sit here and say this: WWE ruins lives. would Eddie have been dead right now if it wasn't for WWE? And honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so. He would have been doing the drugs. Because think about it. The drugs that he was doing was for what? To get buff. And guess what? What is Vince McMahon's protocol? You gotta be a big guy to be that guy. And we all know Eddie was not really that big. Like he was more of a
CM Punk wasn't big. He's a scrawny fuck versus everybody else.
Right. So that's my thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you think to the magnitude of wrestling at this point, and plus then looking back in the days, that's what I'm like when you saw Eddie from where he was before and then where he was after getting buff, and then you found out he was doing steroids. It's like it makes sense. But that's what I'm like, yeah, this is your fault because again, he's not getting no TV time. He would never get no TV time if he's not big enough because no one's gonna believe. Think about it. You know how bad it is when you get a wrestling game like the early like throwback, like Here Comes the Pain. Imagine you playing Eddie and you go against Brock Lesnar. You're trying to pick him up. They'll be like, you can't pick them up for shit.
I was literally having a conversation with somebody last night and this morning about this. People don't understand like one thing about wrestling. It's a couple things, actually, not a couple things. Back in the day, it looked more real because we knew it was fake, but we didn't know it was fake, if that makes sense.
So I'll say it like this. For me, back in the days when I was young, I believed it was real. When I found out it was fake, because my realization was this is all scripted, and I'm like, all right, fuck you.
No. I'm not saying the moves they're doing are 100% fake, but what they do is same thing martial arts do. When you're actually practicing a Yuki's a dummy guy who plays a dummy. All right, you're not throwing your partner. Actually, he throws himself, so he doesn't hurt himself as much. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the match is the way to fall. And I see all the time when they fall and they slap the hands behind them sideways, it takes all the pain from the back into your hands only. You know, you're going to feel somewhat still because those matches don't have any fucking give.
Yeah, they don't have no support like that.
Yeah, not like a judo mat. I was getting thrown on. Mm. So that's one. Two is back in the day, we knew it was, like I said, we knew it was fake, but we didn't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Not us, our parents, for example.
Right.
Like, my mother, I can put a wrestling match right now. She's gonna be like, that motherfucker. Like, she goes, dude, I mean, she goes in it. She screams at the TV. She has thrown shit on my TV. I'm like, yo, whoa. Stop throwing shit. I'm not buying a new fucking TV. She thinks, and I tell her, Ma, you know it's not real. Like, fuck you, it's real. Look at his blood. I'm like, shit. She's all into it. She thinks it's real 100%.
Yeah.
So as you know, us, we know what kayfabe is, and we know, okay, this is not really, you know, real. The moves are real, but the outcome is not.
Right.
So, by that said, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, okay, yeah, it was more believable because only a few people knew the truth. Now, in the 80s and 90s and 2000 and the internet coming out, everybody knows. Even little kids, oh, yeah, that's fucking fake. I'm like, how the fuck do you know it's fake? Internet. What else did the internet say to you? China's tits are fake. Excuse me? China's tits are fake. Who's this little fucker? Okay, kid. Get out of here.
I mean, he ain't personal line because there is some people that do got some fake tits.
Stephanie McMahon.
I mean, who's another one that has fake tits? I mean, currently, what's her name? Selena Vega, she got fake tits.
You know, they had a son. Now the son had changed slowly, but back in the day, it was like you said, it was buff guys, big muscles, everything. Then you had size 0, big tits. Trish Stratus, for example. Don't get me wrong. I think Trish Stratus is one of the most beautiful women out there. Not going to deny that. That's my personal opinion. I also met her in person. She's kind of cute, actually, in real life. She's dropped down gorgeous. Like, the Ghost of Sparta became Ghost Little. I'm like, I got really shy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. You became a little boy. Like,
I was thinking like this, bro.
My dreams.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, like, if she gave me an opportunity to take her out for dinner and just not even go first base, just put one finger on her, one finger, I would. And she gave me a nice hug. I gotta give her that.
I know right there. You was jealous. You was like, oh my god.
I'll put it
I
this
hope I
way.
have her forever.
I put it this way. Like, De La Petey became King Kong pretty fast.
We were like, I hope she don't feel this.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
But serious aside, dude, like he had a certain look he wanted everybody to be at. And I'm very surprised CM Punk became the world title. Was it 3 or 4 times before he walked out on them?
Yeah.
But he doesn't fit the criteria of anybody else.
I mean, honestly, he never quote unquote fitted the criteria per se. I mean, the thing is, right, with CM Punk, so I say it like this: him and ECW being a champion, it was ideal because, well, let's be real here. You got your friend running ECW, aka Paul Heyman. And the thing is, again, like I always say, Paul Heyman is like, you may as well say he's a natural treasure to WWE because he knows talent. WWE on there and sometimes don't. Most of the times.
Now, if you talk to
most of
Paul,
the
he hates Paul Heyman or a passion.
Who?
Paul Bennett.
Paul Bennett. Wait, Paul Bennett hates Paul Heyman?
Yeah, that's kind of
Really?
funny, actually. The reason he says he's a scumbag because when he had ECW, a lot of people got fucked over their paychecks. He didn't pay a lot of people because he didn't have the money. I don't know how true that is. I never looked into it, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll say this: if Paul Bennett, because I know D. Von Dudley, he does his own little wrestling podcast now. I think he did a video about the ECW and the payments and all that. So he can break that down if there was some scrollability if he talks about it. I haven't really seen it, but I know he did a video on it. But as far as history-wise, I'm gonna say this, right? Let's say hypothetically that is somewhat true, or that rumor is true, right? Let's say the rumor mainly is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being a thing because again, you have to think to yourself, how big was ECW was to the point of being an entity that survived on its own. You would think with all the chaos, the mayhem, the damage control and everything, you would think it sold big numbers. I mean, sometimes that may be the case, but that's not true, right? So it's like it's a pick and choose. Again, it really all depends. I mean, plus then you got to think to yourself, looking at the audience and where they were in wrestling. I mean, it's pretty much a nice, decent stage. I say it like this: a lot of people took a lot of big risks to make it what it was, and it is still a family home name. Because like, people still scream ECW to this day. Like they'll always scream that. It is always a fandom to the people of wrestling. But the thing is, if you want to talk about money wise, that's a tough place because of how that all goes, right? And I just don't know for sure if that's legitimately true, and how far does that play, and how much contracts were being signed. Because again, the thing about business is, how do you know you was going to be able to pay them, and how did they know they were going to be able to pay that money if this is just a start? Like something had to crazily happen for this to be a firebringer that keeps revolutionizing wrestling to keep this thing alive. And the fact that it eventually died, I mean, that tells me there wasn't enough money to stay afloat. So ergo, I don't think this based on business, anyone got cheated per se. But then again, it's like, well, again, but I do believe, could people been lowballed? Like, oh, they were promised this, but in the end result of business failing out, they weren't paid that. Yeah, I could believe that. But as far as being screwed over enticingly, that is a tough thing. I just don't know for sure.
I think he fell in some rough times because ECW never did big arenas. Let's be honest here. They're small arenas. And I never saw him do anything big to make real money. I don't think he could afford to do something big with all his equipment he had.
I mean,
I think he had a good deal going with WED, but It didn't work out for too long.
I mean, the
He's a
thing,
great promoter. I give him that. He's a great promoter, but I don't think
yeah.
he's a good businessman.
I mean, yeah. I think that's sort of the thing is like for Paul Heyman to actually that did well, he would actually need someone to be a little bit more of the business savvy guy because he understood wrestling. He knew wrestling. He could have an eye for the person in there. Because again, most people that were sort of quote unquote getting tanked, they only survived because Paul Heyman was in favor of them. So, you know, must react. Must react. My comment on Julio. Wahoo. Who the hell's Wahoo McDaniels? I'm sorry, I don't know who the hell that is. He must be an oldie. I don't know.
Yeah, he's old. He's actually a pretty good wrestler. LA Snow.
I mean, Al Snow.
Al Snow. He has his own promotion. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, he does.
And he's struggling with that promotion
I bet he is.
because he's a wrestler. A lot of times these wrestlers are not business owners, businessmen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like this is where the idea of partnering matters, right? It's like again, even Booker T, even while he's in WWE, he has his own wrestling promotion.
Oh, he does?
But yeah, he does. He does.
I know he has a wrestling school.
And he also has a wrestling promotion. He has one of the Samoan family members as the champion. Oh, wait, well, he was once the champion there, but yeah, he has one of the Samoan family members there right now. But he has a wrestling promotion. Just look it up. But yeah, it's not that big either. I mean, it's known, but it's not that big either. So I think it's morally bigger than Al Snow's production, but yeah. But the thing is, let's just be real, right? A lot of that stuff is a taboo. Like again, I say it like this, right? This how you know how to weed who's good and who's bad. For instance, MLW, Major League Wrestling. That just came out of nowhere. But guess what? Who owns MLW? The same guy that owned Lucha Underground. And guess what? He got on national television quick. The thing is, that tells you someone knows how to do business or has money in the game for business. But the thing is, most people don't. And, you guys may know wrestling because you were wrestlers, but that's the thing. You guys are in the bottom months building talent, which eventually be in one of these bigger sceneries, the MLWs, the TNA, the AEW, the WWE, and whoever else, NWA, and whoever else becomes a bigger name eventually across the board. So it's like you got the low tier, you got the mid ones, and then you got the big boys. So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, look, wrestling, like most people say wrestling has become crowded in per se. I just say like there's just different divisions. There's the low balls, there's the mid tier, and then there's the higher ups. That's where wrestling is right now. And I think Al Snow, he's in the local circuit, not even touching the mid tier. Even though he has
near it.
Yeah, even though
I know eventually they want to bring all the Samoanians in WWE, have like a whole big thing going on with them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's going to ever happen the way the things are looking right now.
Maybe not, because the story is not tailoring that way. To be honest, I said it before. They sort of tanked the whole bloodline story right now. They tanked it. As
now,
I said,
if you tell me back when they first started a 2.0 kind of thing, maybe I would have given you a little credit back then. But the way it's going now, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they just sort of tanked it. Like ever since like after the match with Solo, they haven't really brought back the idea of the whole bloodline story or anything like that. They just sort of tanked it. And then top it off with The Rock there, you don't know if The Rock angle is to quote unquote still be crowned tribal chief, or at this point he's just thinking bigger. So with that spin, it's like it's not even the same. And then top it off, it's like, well, is Jacob taking reign as a new tribal chief in his own right of the Samoan dynasty, or how is this working? So because it's all finicky, no one knows where this is going. That's why I'm saying this whole idea is tanked. Jay's already selling this idea. I'm a one-man crew. I'm walking on my own terms. So it's like, you don't know where this is really going. It's in limbo land. So now it's like, that's what I'm saying. The idea of it's tanked right now. Will Zilla Fatu ever join WWE? I believe he will. As far as when, though, it would have to make sense.
I think the money thing would actually have to be right to do that.
Well, yeah, the money part that's one thing for sure, because right now what he's building his name towards, and plus right now the steam on the whole bloodline thing is already up there. So the questionary factor is, well, if you sign him, are you bringing him directly to the main roster, or is he working himself up from NXT? And then how does that look like overall? So that's the thing. So it all really depends.
I think they're gonna bring him straight to the main roster.
That's the I wouldn't say that for sure.
That's my opinion, at least.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, but the reason why I say that is because I'm thinking the same way in comparison to what they're doing. Like, okay, when they brought Jacob, I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at Jacob's resume and I'm looking at Zilla's. I'm like, Zilla would be like, he would be paid decent, but he still would go to NXT. That's how I look at that. Because the reason why, again, I think depending on how you're bringing in Zilla, as far as like, is he just another, like, is he a Top Gun right-hand man? Is he is he one of the assassins of the Samoan teams? Like, depending on how you're selling it, you might want to bring him to NXT first and then build up from there, especially depending on what talent is at NXT currently at that point. Because again, this is the problem with WWE amongst NXT is this. Eventually, you're still going to be bringing guys from NXT to the main roster eventually. So that means you also got to keep on filtering new talent eventually. NXT is going to die. Because again, you're just bringing someone else up.
Yeah. The only person that actually they kind of did something with him, he won the U.S. title recently. I mean, what's his fucking name? You know what I'm talking about? The braids.
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu. That's the only person that really did anything with the 2.0 bloodline. They've been working with him for a while now.
Well, yeah, I mean, people already knew the moment Jacob came in there, it was already a done deal for Solo and everybody, almost everybody else. Because the moment he came in there, the idea of Solo being a thing was dead real quick, because everyone knows Jacob was going to replace Solo fast. And why? Because they don't sell Solo the way he was in NXT.
He was in NXT for a little bit?
Huh?
Was he in NXT?
Yeah, Solo was in NXT before he came up in.
Oh, no, not Solo. Jacob, I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Jacob went directly into the main roster.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to finish with one last question. Because you're my wrestling guy right now, because everybody else chicken shitted on us today. And don't worry. Payback's a bitch. Remember that. So, Alexa Bliss, what do you think about her? Do you think she'll be coming back anytime soon? What are you thinking?
Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
She's in SmackDown.
She hasn't been showing her face in a while. I know she's on SmackDown.
Of course. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, rumor is they're more likely selling her to be a part of the whole White Six thing.
But they haven't done nothing with that either.
And there's a reason for that. That's what I'm saying. That's the idea. I mean, if you saw how they're selling her little gimmick and they're more likely selling her to come back and run that, because they're just not liking how it's done. And personally, I think they felt that anyways. But as far as her coming into fray, like, again, I like the fact that they brought Alexa Bliss. She's one of the many few people outside of the Four Horsewomen that Triple H has co-art that is pretty decent and good as a female wrestler.
I know they took her off the air for a while because of the whole, I think it's ridiculous to be honest with you, is because she had a little weed on her and she got arrested for that. It wasn't even a roast. That's how small it was.
Last time I checked, she was off TV because she was pregnant.
Oh, was she pregnant too?
Yeah, she was pregnant. I don't know about that little roach part, but okay.
Yeah, you look it up. She was the whole. They have the whole video of the cop pulling her over, going through her car, and they found the little.
No. That wasn't Alexa Bliss. No. That was Liv Morgan. You're getting those two mixed up. That's Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was holed up for that.
I might be wrong then.
Yeah, no, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Those two, you actually can look at each other and be like, "Yeah, I look
The
sort of similar."
sisters.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say like Liv Morgan. She's sort of like a weak version of an Alexa Bliss because they're sort of the same.
I'm not a big fan of Liv Morgan as much. She's okay. I'm not. She's not.
I mean, look, she has her moments where they let her show her wrestling, but it's like, and then that's when like, and then they just throw her back to just being garbage, and I'm like, boo! This is the shit that we have to deal with every single time.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I'm curious. I think I'm confused on that. I'm looking her up.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm telling you, Alexa Bliss was just pregnant. That's why she was off TV. But Liv Morgan was the one hold up for the whole little thing, being caught up in the camera and everything else. That was literally her.
I guess you're right because I don't see anything here.
Yeah, because hold on, let me see, because I literally can tag it in right now. Let's see, it was Alexa Bliss ever arrested while in WWE?
You're right. I found it now. Liv Morgan right here. It says it right.
Yep. See, yeah.
You got to give me a little credit because they look so.
Yeah, I know. They look very similar. I know they
look like sisters, bro. They look like sisters.
I'm trying to tell you, yes, they do. Hey, what's going on, Coach Bird?
Yeah,
but I'm trying to tell you, that's what I'm saying. They're very close and similar. That's why I'm like, she's a weak, watered down version of a.
Oh yeah, I think Alexa is a little more, not a lot more hotter than Liv. I'm like, I do think Liv's a very beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no, I mean,
I just find
I think they're both good looking, but I mean, in general, as far as like in the ring work, Alexa Bliss is way more better than her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's try and start closing out. You want to put your final thoughts really fast?
Yeah. So, as far as for my overall WrestleMania thoughts, I believe night one was sort of like lacklusterly garbage for the simple fact that one, they should have put SmackDown's tag team match on WrestleMania. Two, NXT tag team match was way more better, way more better, in my opinion. The Jay versus Gunther being the first match was just so wrong, and then to let Jay win by submission was just out of line. Like, who would have freak thought of that? That is just stupid. And then everything else was sort of like genuinely okay to a degree. The Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair match didn't went the way I hoped it was, but it is whatever. The CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins was poetry in motion because we all know that Seth Rollins was that desperate that he needed to do what he had to do. It was obvious. Night two, most people gave night two way more praise, and personally, I do believe that it does deserve the praise of everything that went down, especially the special surprise of Joe Hendry facing Randy Orton. Yeah, I think, and honestly, the biggest surprise of night two, honestly, was Dominic Mysterio winning that IC title. I didn't see it happening. I didn't see it happening.
Yeah, I think it was like overdue for him to get a title, to be honest with you.
I mean, no, he had a title. He just never got a title on the main roster, though.
That's what I mean. Except with his father, didn't he get one of a tag?
Yeah, he got a tag. Oh, yeah, he had a tag team on the main roster with his father. But other than that, I'm like,
he's been
the other title that he had was the NXT North American title, and he never competed in NXT like that, which he should have, because personally he wasn't really ready for the main roster. But nonetheless, it is what it is.
He got it because his father. Let's be honest here.
Huh?
He got a free pass because who his dad was.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, technically, let's be honest here. Which father? Which father?
You're an asshole.
Which father? Because let's be real, them designs, them looks.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah. I lie. I cheat. I steal. Phenomenal.
Yo, if he did cheat, he cheated really well that one.
Well,
All right, guys, let's do a schedule quick update. Let's get the hell out of here because we got another day ahead of us tomorrow. All right, where are we? Okay, so I got post. So tomorrow we're gonna agree. Me and Paul tune in. We're gonna have a great show. Just to remember the title, I haven't posted it yet. On Wednesday, you guys are talking about Gundam Wing, right?
Yes, conduct.
So I might have popped my head in that one.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna try to pop my head in that one if I can. Then on Thursday we're talking about why does sex sell? That's gonna be an interesting conversation with the guys.
It's simple. Women got milk.
Oh God.
I mean, come on, the cheat. I mean, the book. Like, what are we talking about here? Of course, we all know. We all know how this all goes. The idea of selling the woman's body. It's just
next Saturday we're talking about the most powerful mecha mobile suit franchise. Yeah, we're going there.
Oh, see, I thought you could give that some time. You just wanted to just go right in there.
Dude, that's been posted for like 3 months. Yeah. Go back and look. I posted that way before you guys started your show. So I don't want to hear your lip. Just say a word, I'll hit the button. Just say a word.
Touche.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Paulie, anything else before we go?
He said Paul, like Paul's still in the conversation.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Wally, anything else before we go? It's just a habit. Sorry, dude.
What world are we? What world do we live in right now? This must be the Twilight Zone. I'm Paul now. Oh Lord, I got hair.
Wally, anything else?
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Last words. We all know why sex sells, ladies and gentlemen. Women, they got currency, and they know it. It's their body. So hello. That's why women believe that they can do what they want as they please. Because who's gonna stop them? Who's gonna stop them? Not you. Because I gotta have a body.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was a Spartan Execute Network. This was Operation Hangout. I am Ghost of Sparta. He is Wally the Troublemaker. As always,
I am not a troublemaker. That's
stay fresh, stay safe. And someone please shut him up.
Bye.